A woman was critically injured in a car accident, and her husband borrowed money from everywhere to pay for her treatment. However, after she recovered and was discharged from the hospital, she shockingly took the 400,000 yuan compensation and went back to her parents' home. She even declared that she wanted her parents to achieve financial freedom. Her absurd actions enraged her husband, who now wants to divorce her. In front of the camera, the woman clinging to her husband is Long Fun. Before the car accident, she was just a virtuous wife. But after the accident, she suddenly became a well-known ambassador for poverty alleviation. A few months ago, Long Fun was unfortunately involved in a car accident. To save his wife's life, her husband and father-in-law immediately put together 200,000 yuan and handed it over to the hospital. Most of this money was borrowed by the father and son. The two of them stayed by the ICU for 7 days and nights, finally waiting for the news that Long Fun was out of danger. When her family heard about the accident, not only did they refuse to contribute a single penny to her treatment, but they also never came to the hospital to take care of her during her stay.
很焦急，很怕。
我哭都哭个个起特，因为这个叫在这屋里变成啥子蛮听话，我只有一个希望，我要强加出来。
The father-in-law stated that no matter what the bride's family did, he only had this one daughter-in-law and was determined to save her life. However, the daughter-in-law clearly did not appreciate his efforts. After being discharged from the hospital, Long Fun immediately took the 400,000 yuan compensation and returned to her parents' home, announcing the good news to her family. She completely disregarded her husband and father-in-law, who still had debts to pay, as well as her 2 daughters who were still in school. She also forgot about the monthly mortgage payments that needed to be made. Long Fun's unusual behavior left the father and son dumbfounded, and in desperation, they sought the help of a reporter to see if they could persuade Long Fun to return 200,000 yuan to help pay off the family's debts. When the group arrived at Long Fun's residence, they found her still lying in bed, enjoying life. Upon seeing her husband and father-in-law, Long Fun remained calm and said that all the compensation money had been deposited in a fixed-term account at the bank, so she couldn't help her husband repay the debt. However, her words raised doubts in her husband's mind. Liu Xiaodong said that when his wife was first hospitalized after the car accident, her mother's family never mentioned taking her back home. But as soon as they had hired a lawyer and won the compensation lawsuit, his wife, who had received 400,000 yuan in compensation, was immediately taken back by her mother. This made him suspect that his mother-in-law's sudden interest was motivated by a desire for the compensation money.
我觉得这一笔赔偿款，你想要看的是什么原因呢？
只要是他是他的权利，没有报出。如果是他因为到我16年的时候，那我就不能够接受。
哦，你是怀疑这笔赔偿款现在没在你老婆的手里？
Liu Xiaodong expressed that if the money was truly in his wife's hands, he would be at ease. But relying solely on his wife's words, he couldn't believe it. So, he requested his wife to show him the passbook, just to set his mind at ease. However, when faced with her husband's request, Long Fun just continued playing on her phone and showed no willingness to respond. The father-in-law stated that he understands his daughter-in-law's character. She lacks her own opinions and does whatever her mother says. Liu Xiaodong said that his mother-in-law used various methods to prevent him from meeting with his wife. Now that the couple can meet, it was only because he persuaded his wife for 3 days and nights that she agreed to sneak out secretly without her mother's knowledge. The mother-in-law's various abnormal behaviors made him unable to believe that the compensation money was still in his wife's hands. Under the relentless pressure from her husband and father-in-law, Long Fun could no longer bear the strain and had no choice but to take out her bank card and agree to check with the bank. However, this check completely exposed the truth to everyone.
我什么都晓得，要得不？我讲了我自己，你都不相信我啊！
我晓得人可以叫这种事的脑根呢。
The father and son were furious and immediately rushed to Long Fun's family home to demand an explanation. However, as soon as they arrived, Long Fun's mother took the initiative to attack, using harsh language. She scolded the father and son, accusing them of being just as greedy as each other. only concerned with money and neglecting her daughter's well-being. She said that the compensation money, which her daughter had risked her life to obtain, was constantly on their minds. And now, they even had the audacity to come and demand it. How shameless. As she spoke, the mother-in-law took out a stack of deposit slips, declaring that all of her daughter's money was under her control. She claimed she would never use a single penny of her daughter's money because she had 3 daughters and had already saved enough for her and her husband's retirement from the bride price alone. This money was more than enough, and she had never considered the 400,000 yuan as significant. The reason she was keeping the money for her daughter was entirely due to how poorly the Liu family treated her daughter. In case her daughter and son-in-law divorced, this money would provide her daughter with some security.
对女儿这笔钱对你来说根本就
不在乎，我根本就不在乎，他只是他保证不能挣噻。
The mother-in-law said that when her daughter had the car accident, the son-in-law was much closer to the hospital than she was. However, he still arrived more than 20 minutes later than she did. When the doctor asked the son-in-law to sign the rescue papers, he hesitated because he was afraid of the costs. In her view, this was a sign that the son-in-law did not care about her daughter. However, in response to the mother-in-law's words, Liu Xiaodong felt like crying, but had no tears. After depleting his savings and borrowing money everywhere to pay for his wife's treatment, and guarding her for 7 days and nights, he was met with accusations of not caring for his wife, according to his mother-in-law.
在高速上面跑160，那车子又那么多，没办法了，跑到医院。你看我还没跑得慢，还不跑得快。那时候我自己想的，我用自己生命去换了。
Liu Xiaodong said that after learning about his wife's car accident, he was already rushing to get there, but the traffic congestion in the city caused his delay. Moreover, as soon as he arrived at the hospital, he was called by the doctor to sign the critical condition notice. Because he was terrified of losing his wife, he was momentarily stunned, only to find that his mother-in-law claimed he was hesitating to spend money. The mother-in-law also repeatedly pointed out that although the son-in-law had a car worth over 300,000 yuan, he made his daughter take a cheaper vehicle home, which led to her severe injuries in the accident. If they had used their own car, there likely would have been no problem, and perhaps the accident wouldn't have happened at all. Now, since the daughter's accident is entirely the son-in-law's fault, it is only right for his family to cover the medical expenses. At present, she is helping to safeguard the compensation money for her daughter, simply to provide her with some security.
他们30万个30几万钱我举都不上来。
他不保护我儿女啊，我们儿女是哪里参照好久了，参照哪里参照20多万的债务。
The mother-in-law also said that in just 10 years of marriage, the daughter has helped the son-in-law's family create over 1 million yuan in wealth. However, for daily expenses, the daughter often has to ask her father-in-law for money and sometimes even relies on selling scrap materials to get by. From the mother-in-law's perspective, all the money the daughter earns is handed over to the father-in-law, and now, because the compensation money has not been handed over, the in-laws come knocking and disturb their home. This is simply outrageous.
废品
我做事我
他一般还是减废品，一般真的是肯定废品的
零用钱是捡废品拿来的。
In the mother-in-law's view, since the son-in-law's family runs a renovation business with an annual income of 200,000 yuan, and the daughter has been assisting him, she believes that the daughter is entitled to half of the son-in-law's earnings, making an annual share of 100,000 yuan reasonable. Given that this year marks 10 years since the daughter married into the Liu family, the mother-in-law thinks that the daughter has created 1 million yuan of wealth for the Liu family. However, Liu Xiaodong disagrees with his mother-in-law's claims. He states that he never lets his wife do heavy labor in daily life. Her responsibilities are limited to household chores and taking care of the children. Besides that, he gives his wife the leftover materials from the renovation each year to sell as scrap, which allows her to earn several thousand yuan in pocket money every time. Somehow, this matter has been twisted by the mother-in-law to suggest that his wife needs to rely on selling scrap materials to make a living. Liu Xiaodong also mentions that his tight handling of money is due to his wife being very obedient to her mother's words.
我给1分钱给他，他也给1分钱给他，目前
就是你，但凡你要给了钱，就是全部放到娘家去了，
对，
没有用在你们自己的小家庭里啊，就是他很贴娘家。
对。
Currently, Liu Xiaodong is under significant financial pressure. He needs to repay the money borrowed for his wife's medical treatment, and there are also expenses for their 2 children's education. Therefore, he proposed that his wife take 200,000 yuan home and decide what to do with the remaining money herself. However, as soon as Liu Xiaodong finished speaking, his mother-in-law erupted in anger, declaring that even if her daughter and son-in-law divorced, she would not hand over the money. His daughter is as beautiful as a celestial being, with a face like a flower, and if the son-in-law doesn't want her, there are plenty of others who do. Hearing the mother-in-law's words that a forced melon is not sweet, Liu Xiaodong decided not to keep his wife any longer and said he would go home to get the documents and proceed with the divorce. However, Longfen was unwilling to divorce her husband and followed him closely. In the end, Liu Xiaodong pushed his wife away and left quickly. Seeing this, the mother-in-law, knowing well that her daughter loved her son-in-law, couldn't help but interject again. The mother-in-law told her daughter to quickly go back with her husband to handle the divorce procedures and return only after completing them. After hearing this, Liu Xiaodong drove away, leaving his wife by the roadside. It was only then that Longfen realized her husband was genuinely angry. She hurriedly called her husband, but he refused to answer the phone. Seeing this, she turned to the reporter for help, hoping the reporter could assist in mending her husband's heart.
不离婚啊！我2个小孩，我舍不得，我爱我老公啊。
Seeing that the wife was unwilling to give up on the relationship, the mediator arranged for everyone to come to the local judicial office for mediation.
交通事故的那个赔偿款这一块哦，它是为夫妻的一方财产，不是共同财产。至于说在治疗的过程中，先期垫付的这个钱，那是你们夫妻自己拿出来的钱，这个钱也是算在最后面的时候，也是算在这个赔偿款里面的。
The staff at the judicial office stated that although the compensation is the wife's personal property and not joint property, the medical expenses advanced by the husband for the wife's treatment are considered a joint debt, and therefore Longfen is obligated to repay this money. However, Longfen argued that the compensation funds have been deposited in a fixed-term account by her mother, who said the money cannot be given to the husband until the 2-year term expires. Liu Xiaodong was unwilling to believe his mother-in-law's words and was urgently in need of the money to pay off his debts. Faced with her husband's relentless pressure, Longfen seemed very troubled, hesitating and no longer answering the questions directly.
好了，
Seeing his wife's attitude, Liu Xiaodong turned and walked away. What was once a happy family of 4 was shattered by this unexpected fortune, illustrating how fortune and misfortune are intertwined. The mother-in-law's excessive interference in the young couple's life also led to the tragedy of the daughter's broken marriage. What do you think about this?